Coach Nikki Zeigler here with Talks with Coach Nikki Zeigler. I am continually to do this this virtual herpreneur tour, and we're bringing Christian ladies, Christian authors from all over the world to be interviewed. Those who are doing their own books, they're publishing their own books. Their books are being on shelves on Amazon, Target, Walmart, Books A Million, Barnes and Nobles across the world, and you're also able to buy their books on their own website. So we have another author that we're interviewing. She lives in New York, and she said it's flourishing in New York. So I'm gonna bring her onto the show and let her introduce herself, because we want to make sure you know exactly who she is, and what she got going on. Welcome to the Herpreneur.
Hello. How we doing?
We are doing great. Tell the people who you are, where you from, the name of these books, and let's get into this interview.
All right. Hi, I'm Shana Gourdine. I'm an author of actually 3 books, because the anthology that I collabed with came out today, which is called Speak Out. My first book is called The Mask Behind the Mask, and my second book is called Unveil the Broken Pieces of the Mask. I live in Troy, New York. I am a podcast host, a magazine blogger, a magazine writer, an advocate for domestic violence, an advocate for chronic illness, a mother, a spoken word poet, artist, a poet, and I think that's all the hats right now.
That's all?
Yes.
Well, you're multi-talented. You don't name about 10 things. That's a lot to do. And then, still balancing life, and, being a mother and being, all of these authors and all the things that God has truly blessed you with. So what inspired you to write books? What was the eye-opener to write a book?
Well, I've always wanted to write since I was 12. I've been writing since high school. But what really opened my eyes was after going through domestic violence twice and encountering that and using my poetry as a way to heal myself, I decided to put my poetry in a book so where it can help heal other people. The second reason I wrote it was the fact is that I have 3 different health conditions that, abilitate my issues of the things in my daily life. Like I have fibromyalgia, which is a chronic nerve pain. I have ankylosing spondylitis, which is authorized to my spine and goes to the rest of my joints, like rheumatoid arthritis. And I have a kidney disease. So it's a message to people for them to understand that, regardless of the cards you dealt, you still be able to do anything you want, irregardless to it.
Wow. So you know what? That's kind of big, taking on the sicknesses and taking on all the things that you have going on. That's a big deal. I mean, you have 3 sicknesses, you got kids, you have a life, you're an author, you're doing all these things and you still keep it moving. Yes. Now let's talk about the name of the book. What made you name your book these names?
Well, one, The Mask Behind the Mask is defining the fact that a lot of us, we put on faces to walk outside and to be, put that smile on the face and make, things look like it's okay. And after going through having 3 health conditions and I don't look like my story, why not teach people that, regardless on what your cards is, that mask that you have on, you can be true to yourself. You can love the imperfections that you have. You can love what's going on. You don't always have to be so angry behind your mask. Like people deal with so many different things and they cover it up and you keep throwing piles and piles and piles on stuff. Then you're going to continue to, mask these things and it's going to become a problem because you're not taking care of what's really, truly going on.
Wow. So who inspired you to write books? Who would you say be your inspiration behind writing or giving you the ability and confidence to write?
I would say Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes. I love those growing up. And then I just truly just love reading like Eric Jerome, Sister Soldier, Zane. So just all those few people. It was, they were intriguing, and I'm like, hey, why not? If you can do it, I sure should be able to.
That's right. So having the confidence from other supports other writers and treat you on to go ahead to do what you are called to do, and that's to be a writer. That's amazing. We're so happy to have you a part of the broadcast. We're so happy to have you on the show. We know that you're going to be doing some amazing things on this broadcast, and definitely happy to see that you are, continue to strive to be great and to continue to strive to be what God has called you to be. My question to you, being that you have all these people who you look to, how are you coping being a mother, being a author? How do you balance your time?
So what I do is, which, I have a daily routine because, you got to get kids up, got to get them ready for their virtual learning. But I've set myself a schedule because when it first happened, I have like, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to be able to write, deal with the kids at school, and still maintain? But I figured it out. I just changed my routine to whereas while they're in school, I work on a lot of my work. Then I take the time out while they're out of school to help them with work. And then I go back while they're focusing on something else. Or when they go to bed, I then focus on writing again. And in between podcast interviews and stuff like that, I've taught them, okay, mommy has this to do. This is mommy's job.
Right.
Y'all have to go in your rooms and y'all have to be quiet. And, I get them physically prepared for it the day before or hours before, so whereas they're not interrupting me doing my interviews or my podcasts or any et cetera that I have to do. I'll be like, mommy has to write. And they'll come in the room and they'll be doing their own writing. So they'll write because mommy's writing.
Right. Oh, that's good. So my question to you with the 2 or 3 books that you have, what is the difference in the books?
Okay, the first book was, The Mask Behind the Mask, which I was telling people, that they had a mask on. And it was basically, empowering. It was basically letting people know that, I've been through pain. So that was a lot of my hurt that was in this book. Second book is where I'm teaching people how to unveil the broken pieces of a mask. Because, the fact is that, after you tell somebody they got a mask on, then I have to throw the life coaching hat on, Coach Shay, to where it's like, okay, how I can tell somebody something, but I also got to show them how to take that walk as taking those pieces off. So in the second book, I talked about the insecurities. I talk about the baggage. I talk about embracing yourself. I give them quotes in there to words they can use as affirmations. I give them words that they might use as a powerful theme for that day. I put in there questions that they can actually ask themselves and do the work if they're truly ready to break those faces off. And I tell a lot of people, this walk that you take to be the true self, it's a journey. You got to be ready to do it because if you're not prepared to do it, it's a hard walk. And you also got to have the walk of faith. You got to have the walk of courage. And then, once you learn who you are truly inside, you got to love yourself first. And like the first thing I taught a lot of people when we do talk about how they tend to move to the next cycles, I talk to some people about life after trauma, and always because I tell my story a lot of places as a motivational speaker. So they tend to ask me, how do you move to the next step? And I always tell them the first step is forgiving yourself. You have to go and stand in front of the mirror and forgive yourself. Don't forgive yourself for the fact of other people. You forgive them for your peace and your sanity and, for your happiness, because the person that you holding all that baggage and that hate and that anger and frustration from, they live in their life. So why hold on to it when they're carrying on their life? And let's break these messes. Let's take the insecurities, the trust issues, the frustration, the fear, and all these barriers that tend to stop us from being a better version of ourselves. I tell a lot of people, their final destination is up to you. Just because you have it happens to you, it doesn't mean that that's where you got to stay stuck at. You got to learn to be greater than what your situation is. Don't let your situation be your final decision. We got to learn to elevate ourselves and be able to move to the next level. We can't wait on somebody else to do it. We got to pick up the pieces and do it ourselves.
I love that. Come on, so I know this book is gonna be amazing. So when did you write the book, during a pandemic or
Okay, the first book came out in 2009, which today is my 2-year anniversary for the first book, which is The Mask on the Mask, this one.
Okay.
And the second book, I did finish it during the pandemic, but I actually started writing it right after I finished my first book. because my material comes so often. I
Right.
just write it. As it come, I just put it. And it's like once you put it together, you know where the pieces are supposed to match. 'Cause I can write a piece and like, all right, this can go in this book and that has to go over here. Because I know the math pieces, there's a story and a guidance I'm having with these books. Because after this book, there's one more book coming to the mass, and that's the final chapter of the mass. Because after I tell you that you got the mass on, and I'm going to help you break it down and take the pieces off. Then in that last sector, I'm going to teach you how to love yourself and not have to wait on nobody else to give it to you. Everybody that comes into your life, they bring in something to add to you, not something that you need, because everything that you need is inside of you.
Right. And it's all about removing the mask. You know,
Yeah.
you told them about the mask, you told them the pieces, and now it's time to remove that mask. And, you know, most of us as women, we deal with, you know, having a mask on, trying to portray this thing like we're happy, but we're not, or trying to have all those different spirits that we deal with that we're ashamed to say that we're dealing with those spirits. So I totally agree. I am so excited for your book. Where can we find this book?
You can find them both on Amazon. They're both on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles online. Also, you can always reach out to me. I do have copies. I have a website that you can connect me to, which is www.theladybehindthemask.com. And you know, on Facebook, you can always contact me as She's Gourdine Author. Instagram is Shana Gourdine Author. So anywhere they, you know, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, you can get it on the Kindle version as well or print.
Now, my question to you, and this is the main question, what do you say a person who is aspiring to become an author, what kind of advice can you give them?
A lot of times when I've been asked, you know, because a lot of people are like, oh, you're an author. You know, I wanted to be one. How do I start? And I always tell them they first starting is not to be fearful about making that step. You know,
That's right.
Just get it out of your head. Because a lot of people are like, I get stuck. I don't know what to do next. I said the first thing is the knowledge that you have in your head, you need to write it down.
That's
so
right.
Is take the step to actually put it on paper.
Yes, that's a good advice. That's good advice. We appreciate you jumping on this tour with us. I'm so excited about what you got going on. Of course, you know, you are welcome to come on your YouTube channel and get the information so they're able to reach you and send it to my office, and we'll put it on the channel as well, because you never know who's watching this channel. You know, a lot of people come after we finish and try to watch and see what's going on. You know, so
yeah, of course, definitely. It's been an honor to be here.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you once again. Author, do you say Gourdine? Because I have a friend named last name Gourdine.
Yeah, you pronounced it right. A lot of people usually pronounce it Gourdine, but you pronounced it correctly as Gourdine.
Yeah, a pastor friend of mine lives here in Montgomery. His name is Paul Gourdine. He lives here in Alabama. He's a pastor friend, so that's how I was able to pronounce it, because he's a really close friend of mine. So, but I'm excited about all the things that you're doing. If I could be any help, let me know. Congratulations on becoming a life coach.
Thank you.
We'll push you as much as possible. And you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Y'all have a great day.
You take care now.